All right, good evening, everyone, and to everyone who may be tuning in or who will tune in to us. My name is Damien Castillo. I'm with my son, Gavin Castillo. It's been very great to spend this week with him for a variety of different sport-related issues. Sunday, you were here for the Spurs game, the first Spurs game. Then Monday for what we have going on Monday? It was something.
I don't remember.
And because I know you are here Monday, but I'm pretty sure. Then Tuesday.
Yeah, I think Monday we were just hanging out.
Yeah, that's right. Because we went to go run some errands and eat.
Yeah.
Then Tuesday was, of course, game 2. The Spurs unfortunately lost. Wednesday we took a break from each other, and then last night we were back together for the first round of the draft. And now here we are again with as family and with you all as well. So hopefully we bring some family, some community, some fun, some energy, some insight, as well as maybe receive some insight and feedback as to what it is that we're doing here tonight. For me, the NFL draft is one of the most exciting parts of the year, period. Sometimes I believe that because of how the Cowboys can't seem to get far into the playoffs or anything like that, I tend to enjoy the lead up to the draft and the draft itself more than I even do the football season at times. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but it's definitely true. But hopefully with those that we pick this season, if they can go into creating or help Chris Parker shape the defense into what he is wanting it to be, that'll go a long way to helping us go further, get over the hump, as they say, right? Because if the offense continues to evolve, because I know people keep talking about how the offense was top 3 ranked in scoring and yards and this and that, and it was all that. The numbers don't lie. However, if you watch the Cowboys last year without the homerism in it or whatever you want to call it, it seemed as if the last 4 games, if not maybe a little bit more, the offense kind of bogged down a little bit more than it did in the beginning of the season. So Coach Shoddy is going to have to find a way, in my opinion, my humble opinion, to kind of evolve the offense even a little bit more. So if he does that, of course, that's going to even go even further to highlighting what CeeDee Lamb can do, what GP, George Pickens, can do. And honestly, that's why, now that I think about it, we're getting closer to the Cowboys pick at number 92, I believe a tight end is very much in play, but we shall see. So, Gav, what is your take as far as what we watched the first round? We watched them take 2 picks last night. That I was meant to ask you and I forgot, but if you want to pull up in a little when you get a chance, the way different people, how they scored out how the draft they graded. I'm sorry, they graded the second pick, because everybody knows that Caleb Downs was at A+, right? Yeah. But you had seen somebody that had it as low as
Caleb Downs
was A+, right?
Yes, and
Malachi
I saw somebody put him as a C.
A C. Yeah. And then I saw B. Someone on Bleacher Report a B+ a little earlier. So I'm curious as to how much more polarizing that pick has been. Yeah. So if you get a moment, if you kind of see if you can find the different scores from the first round. Or specifically for Malachi, it is Lawrence, right? I have the last name Fields in my head, but I think that was another player, Malachi Fields. But it's uber important that the Cowboys hit on both of those guys. And I believe that outside of barring a horrific injury, which I definitely would never wish upon any player, but barring a horrific injury, Caleb Downs should be an A+ pick for the next X amount of years. And his presence alone, his savvy, his intelligence should alter our defense to another tier. Going from the 30th, 32nd ranked team defense to the 5th, no, definitely not. But Caleb Downs alone is a player that can, definitely change the attitude of the team, the way that the teams have to scheme for him, Oh, yeah. So that's big. And Malachi Lawrence, his pass, and I'm going to find something that I had been seen as well, because, according to some of the things that I followed, and I have, my magazines here and, doing mock drafts all over the place. that he right away is going to be someone that can give you pass rush, but also be good against the run. Even though putting on more mass will help him become better against the rush. But what have you had time to see on Malachi Lawrence at all?
I actually have not really seen other than what was being shown, like when he was picked.
Right. His
and
highlights.
Then we did watch a little bit of a video after that. Right. And, you had mentioned how he like just bull rushes and he's able to knock the guard down and push that side of the pocket.
Yep.
And then how you mentioned he's able to swat the quarterback's arm and no matter like how close he is, he's able to either tangle him up, bring him down, or slow him up enough for somebody else to come in and swoop the sack.
Right. So with him, he definitely has the quickness. I want to say he was, what did I say, a 4.5 or 4.45?
Yeah, I think it was 4.45.
He has speed. For a young man that's going to be playing, outside linebacker in a 3-4 scheme. That's huge. So having that speed is big time. When we watched with him yesterday, it was a 4-man front, but he was standing up. He was in a 3-point sense.
Yeah.
So that is going to be obviously how the Cowboys use him in that standing up position versus hand in the dirt. Of course when they use even man fronts, you'll see him maybe with the hand in the dirt here and there, and I don't see why he cannot do that. So he'll be able to do that. But one thing that I noticed, and it was just in one of the videos that we watched, there's more of the highlights to watch as well, that he relied a lot on the bull rush.
Yes.
Or just getting around the tackle.
Yes, that was.
Not very. I just see. I think like one spin move maybe in that. So it'll be interesting to see what else he brings to the table, pass rush wise. Because if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can find the mock draft. From Pro Football PFSN that I use, and there's some other ones that I use, but I wanted to see read what it says about Malachi Lawrence, and the description of him in here. Let me find him real quick. I apologize. I didn't put it real quick. As an edge rusher. So in this scouting report, it says Malachi Lawrence is one of the more intriguing mid-round edge prospects. And now that right there is really important because we know that the Cowboys did go down from 2023, traded down, but ultimately drafted him in the first round, right?
Yeah. And
it says intriguing mid in the 2026 draft. Goes on to talk about emerging as a redshirt freshman with 7.5 sacks, and 10.5 tackles for loss. So you like to see those numbers, of course. In 2024, that was he had a career year. In 2025, it says, earning 7 sacks, a career high, 11 tackles for a loss. A strong, that's according to them is a pretty good grade. A true pressure rate of 13.2 that was nearly top 10 in the nation. So as far as getting pressure, getting into the backfield on a regular basis, that's what this young man does. 6'4", 247 pounds, 33.5-inch arms, decent size. Says stellar functional athleticism. So the athleticism is what I believe led the Cowboys to
picking him up.
They are about to be on the to drafting him at 23. Okay, so let's take a moment real quick because Tony Dorsett and Drew Pearson are at the podium getting ready to call out the Dallas Cowboys pick. And Pearson, of course, loves trolling the crowd. And Tony Dorsett, he did play for Pitt University. Round pick? Was it that we traded over? 5th round?
I believe it was 5th round.
5th round that we traded San Francisco for. D. Winters, who, let me see, because I mentioned, I didn't think about pulling my out my other pre-draft magazines from a couple years ago when D. Winters was drafted, but I remember because of the fact that he was a TCU player and because of the fact that the Cowboys have needed linebacker play for years now, he was one of the young men, and he's only 25 years old right now. Will not be 26 until October 17th of this year. he measured in at 5'11" with almost a 6'4" wingspan, 4.49 speed. So he'll definitely play inside linebacker for us. 3 seasons with the 49ers. 2023, 0 starts, but he played in all 15 games, only 10 tackles. Likely special teams maybe. Then 2024, 15 games played, 10 starts, 44 tackles. And then here's the good part. Last year, as a starter, he played 17 games, started all 17, and he had 101 combined tackles, 67 solo, 34 assists, 8 tackles for loss, 1 interception, and it was a pick 6. No forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries. But you're going to have Overshown, Shamar James to play inside, D. Winters to play inside, and then even Jayshawn Barham to rotate in and out. So now you have a solid rotation of inside linebackers, and not was there anyone? No, there wasn't any other moves made. So you're talking about a solid rotation of inside linebackers, right?
Yeah.
Now for outside linebackers who will primarily be rushing the passer, of course, you're talking now about Donovan Ezraku, who when he came out of the last year of college, he was coming off a 16.5 sack season and double-digit tackles for loss as well. That would have been the 24-25 season. So we have Ezraku set, penciled in as I'm sure started as one outside linebacker. The other side will likely be up between. Well, no, I'm sorry, I forgot. The gentleman we got from Green Bay. I'm forgetting about that. Yeah, those moves are already made.
Yes, yeah.
Rashawn Gary. So, Rashawn Gary will be in the mix, obviously, and likely be a starter. And then you'll have Malachi. Now you're talking about having Malachi Lawrence, Jayshawn Barham, be able to work their way in and out of that. You have the inside settled. I want to know what is going to come of Marriage Leofold, as I mentioned earlier.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I was personally very surprised to hear that he was being moved to outside linebacker. Now, the hard thing for Leofold as well is you wonder what type of shake is he going to get, if you will, because there's really no attachment from anyone on this coaching staff to him, if you will.
Yeah.
You'll hear Brian Broaddus and a lot of the other guys that they're on the Dallas Cowboys podcast. They'll talk about having a sponsor in the building. Whether it's an old coach from college that you played for, or somebody. The head coach gets fired, but somebody is still on staff who with you. What do you call it? What's what I'm looking for? There's that tie, that connection to. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry, I get distracted here and there. I didn't take my Adderall today. But either way, it's tough because this will be his third year, Maris.
Third year.
Third year and third defensive coordinator. You know, third different scheme. And now again, the thing that's tough, and I almost don't even want to mention the man's name. I'm blocking it out. Eberflus. He was a supposed. Now, I'm going to start just so that I don't, seem like a hypocrite. I was stoked when I heard that he was going to become our defensive coordinator. I never want anyone to get fired, but I remember thinking, and it's crazy that back-to-back years we had Coach Zim, and then Eberflus. My mouth won't let me say Eberflus because for years I kept saying, if Zim loses his job in Minnesota, man, I would love him to be our defensive coordinator.
I remember
if
that.
If Eberflus were to lose his job in Indianapolis, no, I'm sorry, Chicago, because he went from the Cowboys to Indy as DC,
to the
great DC to the head coach of the Bears. And I was like, man, if he loses his job, we'll take him. Yes, please, and thank you.
Yeah.
Obviously, it did not work out the way that we thought, believed, expected, wanted it to. And so, yeah. So with that being said, I would have liked to have at least see Eberflus draw something out of Leofow.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he did with Shamar James. Let me pull up Shamar James from last season, because at first he was not playing at all. Then he went through a period where he was started X amount of games and double-digit tackles, and then all of a sudden just kind of was in and out of the lineup. Let me see if here's his stats in 2020. So he ended up with now I don't know that's always not correct. 51 assists, 47 combined. How can you have 51 assists and a total of 47?
Yeah.
It don't work that way, ESPN. Sorry, the math ain't mathing, as they say, right? But I wanted to see his breakdown, because he had a good, even here on Wikipedia they have him with, because there was like a 5-game stretch where he had 40, like right there, look, 5 games played, 3 starts, 44 tackles.
Oh, okay.
That was in that 5-game stretch, so they didn't have anything beyond that, and I'm not sure why. Let me see if I can find something. But the point being, Eberflus was supposed to be a linebacker whisperer, and there was not a single linebacker whose play he elevated.
Yeah.
It was like everyone was just waiting for Overshown to come back to save the defense.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Eberflus could not get anything out of, oh gosh, what was his name? Who Voss Lombardi always talked about how he's either sees the play or reacts to something, but he can't see and react.
I know you're talking about. I can't remember the name though.
Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray. And just could not understand. I understand he had a connection to Eberflus, but how do you keep a player on the field who can see what's developing in front of him? And I'm not exaggerating if you guys are not Cowboys fans and didn't watch any of it. There are so many plays that you can see where he's watching the play develop and literally runs the opposite direction.
Yep.
He starts backpedaling, and it's like that's your gap. The player's running the ball right at you, and you're drifting back. What are you doing? I remember we saw that, and it was like, I had to go back and rewind it over and over again. So I know this is not what I'm seeing, but that was exactly what we got from Kenneth Murray. And so on this real quick, and jump in whenever you want to, so I apologize. You go back to the 2018 draft. We drafted Leighton Van Der Esch number 1. We were working to build a linebacking core because in 2016 we had drafted Jalen Smith. Now, here's the thing with that, of course. 2016, we drafted Jalen Smith in the 2nd round, a player who was coming off an injury so gruesome that he almost had to have his leg amputated, right?
Yeah.
But we said we're taking him in the 2nd round, not in the 3rd, not we're taking him in the 2nd round. Leighton Van Der Esch, a player who had solid years. I believe he had 140 tackles as a rookie. I'm pretty sure on that one. He is coming into the league with red flags of neck problems. Yeah. What caused him to retire? Neck injury. Okay, so you're talking about 2 linebackers in 3 years who, oh, by the way, the year between those was the Taco Charlton draft, okay? Enough said. I mean, there's nothing else that needs to be said about that. So you're talking about Jalen Smith, a young man who was, had high hopes for, but, gruesome injury. Gruesome injury to the point where almost had to have his leg amputated. Taco Charlton in the 1st round 2017. Leighton Van Der Esch, 1st round 2018. 2019 was super important because we did not have a 1st round pick because of the Mark Cooper trade. So what did we do with our pick, our first pick in 2019, which was 2nd round pick 59? We used it on a young man who did not care to play football. He was the most talented defensive player on the Central UCF team, but he stayed in the coach's doghouse because of his attitude. Nothing that I know that was the criminal or anything like that, but he just had a bad attitude, didn't care. We picked him at a time when we could not waste the pick because we had no 1st round, but we got Tristan Hill. There you go, 2020. CeeDee Lamb fell to us, beautiful. After that, it was Diggs, Neville Gallimore, Red Rosen, Tyler Biadasz, Bradley Anai, and good old Ben DiNucci, right? 2021, of course, was we did get Micah Parsons, Osa, but you go down. One of the things that I repeatedly say, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 top 99 picks in 2021 draft, 6 in the top 115. Micah Parsons, Bossman Fat Calvin Joseph, Oso Digizua, Chauncey Golston, Nashawn Wright, and Jabril Cox. That is a draft that should have been able to build a core for our team. That 2021 draft would have that type of draft capital, 6 picks in the top 115. That should be cornerstone. 2022, got, of course, with Tyler Smith in the first round, great. But what do we do? Sam Williams in the second round. A guy who did have red flags. I have high hopes for still this season. But again, there's no penalties.
Yep.
Always there were times. But Dan Quinn worked the kid out personally, loved him, had to have him. So, Jalen Tolbert and the third. And make no mistake, I understand that all teams miss in the draft. I understand that. But you're talking, and then you get into 2023. Mozzie Smith, Luke Schoonmaker, Overshown, who's going to be great for us, hopefully, still. But then you have Junior Fehoko, Austin Richards. Eric Scott pick really bugged me because we traded a 2024 pick to get back into the top of the 6th round to draft Eric Scott. So basically, we used 2 picks on this kid who ran a 4.75 40-yard dash at cornerback.
Wow.
Deuce Vaughn, the feel-good story, and Jalen Brooks. I mean, 24, Tyler Guyton, maybe. May he rest in peace, the young man. Marshawn Nealon, Cooper Beebe, great. And then, it goes down. Maris Leofau, Kellen Carson. But my point being is you look at that stuff, and like I said, I know that all 31 other teams can also go down a line of bad draft picks. But when you're a team who loves to say we're a draft and develop team, we like our guys. We like the guys we have in locker room. What's another Jerryism? We like those guys in the locker room. We believe those guys. We whatever it is that he throws out, him and Steven. And how? I mean, how, when you look at that draft record, can you say we're a draft and develop team and we like our guys? There's no way. There's no way.
Over half those guys you just listed, they're not even on the team anymore.
No, exactly. That 2021 draft, not a single one of them. I have a mark in here where, 2024, of course, obviously, Guyton, BB, Leofau still here, Kellen Carson, Flournoy, who a lot of people have high hopes for, and he should develop. 2023 draft, Schoonmaker and Overshown still here, and that's it. 2022 draft, Tyler Smith, thankfully he's an amazing player. Sam Williams was brought back on a 1-year deal. Jake Ferguson still with us, John Bland. But, Damone Clark, John Ridgeway III, Devin Harper's gone, Matt Waletzko. Geez, that kid could figure it out. Jalen Tolbert is now the Miami Dolphins' #1 receiver. But, I mean, I really liked him. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Again, 2021 draft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 picks, 0 still on the team.
Wow.
0.
He's 2021.
2021. The 2020 draft, CeeDee Lamb still on the team. That's it. 2019 draft, up till last year, Donovan Wilson was still on the team. No one else. So you're talking about 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 6 drafts where currently
3-4 players.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it gets better with 2024.
Yeah.
But you take away those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys from 2023 back, and that's bad drafting. Yeah. That's very bad drafting. Now anyway, so for tonight, so we fin- I believe the first round is about to finish there. Oh, they have the comp pick, so forget it does not finish at 96. They have the compensatory picks to go. They move my stuff over here. Oh yes, that's right. I forgot to
so
keep that going. That's the second?
Round,
that's second round. Yeah, I forgot to
2,
change it. Yeah,
okay,
right there, right there.
Okay.
So let's see, because I think it's not 100 because you
Okay,
right
see
there.
it.
The pick 101 was the first pick of the fourth round, right?
Yep.
So is that so?
I guess that's
I guess that's it. It's a done
That's
deal.
it, yep.
Okay, so then they're just showing for. So Jaguars are going to have the final pick of the
Jalen
third
Husky.
of the Jalen Husky cornerback.
from Maryland.
Interesting. So with that being said, I'm curious. So who is still some of the best players left on the board? Sound like the New Day. I remember you're doing who. I don't know if you remember that. Kyle Lewis is a really good prospect. Skylar Bell as well. Jalen Kilgore, guys. Jalen Kilgore is one of the guys who I mentioned to you yesterday.
Yeah.
He plays safety. He's 6'1" with I think a 6'8" wingspan, 4'3" speed.
It's insane.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm not exaggerating. Let me see what they have here. So just 6'1", 3'8", so just under 6'2", with 7'9" wingspan. So that's 6'7". 6'7" and a quarter.
Crazy.
So you could say he's 6'2" with a 6'8" wingspan. That's nuts. 210 pounds. So he's not tall and slender. He's got some body to him. So because of that, he is expected to be someone who will be able to throw his body around against the run, play in coverage with the speed and athleticism that he has. Let me go read it. Kilgore is a big, long defensive back with nickel back, or not the band, of course, with nickel back or down safety value. So that right there would also be something that Chris Parker would love in his defense. I would love to see him. I just don't know when he'll get drafted, if it would even be an option now that we drafted Caleb Downs. But considering that other than Caleb Downs, all of our other safeties didn't we give Thompson a 3-year deal? I think Thompson got a 3-year deal.
I don't remember.
But I'm almost pretty sure. But either way, he's a backup type. A backup type. Should we do something?
Oh yes, yeah.
A backup type safety. For depth. This year he's going to get some run, but Thompson is going to be more for depth. So with that being said, Jalen Kilgore with Bud, not Carson, the young man from TCU off the board. Jalen Kilgore would be a perfect prospect for us. Again, so Kilgore is a big, long defensive back with nickelback or down safety value, depending on scheme fit. He's played an overhang star role, covering slot receivers and supporting the run, but he'll be at his best in the pros, covering tight ends and containing run game near the box. He could see split field safety snaps if a staff trusts him on the back end, but he will be better off paired with a rangy single high safety. Missed tackles need to be cleaned up, but with his wingspan, agility, and play strength, that's a big deal right there, should keep his tackle totals high from year to year. Kilgore has the traits, ball production, and versatility to counter the burgeoning tight end craze, making him a likely day to pick with early starting potential. So that right there is big because he didn't go on day 2, right? Because today was the end of the second day. Now, reading into that, and what Chris Parker has said over and over again, and what has been echoed by those who are in the building and cover the Cowboys, the nickel position, what I mean, the slot position is going to be very important. So now we have Caleb Downs who can do that. Would it be redundant to draft a guy like Jalen Kilgore? I say no, because if you have a guy like Jalen Kilgore who can do what he can do, him and Caleb Downs on the field would allow CP to do things where the offense would not know who's gonna drop down on the tight end, who's gonna come to slide. I mean, is someone gonna blitz? Are they gonna drop back? Is he gonna roll into the slot? Is he gonna roll outside? Is he gonna go? Who's gonna be deep and who's gonna be here to shore up the run and shoot the gaps, if you will? So, in my opinion, I personally, when I saw the intangibles and the highlights, love to see Jalen Kilgore. Are there any players that you have thought about or looked at or anything. 'Cause I know that for me, this is something I put a lot of time and energy into.
Yeah.
And, you usually kind of, you
Yeah,
hear me, listen to what I say, and don't, well, I'll tell you it's like this. What I do, you don't do the part that I do the way that I don't do the part that Brian Broaddus or Russell Bard. I can't do that. I can't break down 350 players and watch their film, and because there's a lot that goes into it.
Oh yeah, there is.
But I feed off of what they say and what they share, so that when it comes to this, I can at least have an understanding of, okay, I see why they took that player. Going back to Malachi.
Yeah.
He was a player that the Cowboys were pretty sure if we don't take him, someone else may.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of, magazines, a lot of internet, a lot of insiders maybe looked and said, oh yeah, no, the Cowboys reached. He should have definitely been there in the third round. You don't know that. And if you see a guy, you say, that is someone that we want and need in our scheme, you get him when you can, because especially because they knew once pick 23 went, it was going to be 70 picks until they were able to pick again. Would he be there? Likely not. There was no way he was going to be there till pick 92. There's no way.
Yeah.
So as they say, shoot your shot, and that's exactly what they did. I'm trying to think what else I was going to say on that as far as Malachi. I do wonder. I do wonder. I watched the press conferences last night, but didn't hear anything said. I do wonder if they did have any. New jail location. Anyway, that's another story. If the Cowboys maybe had any intention of maybe trying to drift back a couple more spots.
Yeah, you're talking about that yesterday.
Find a trade partner, but from the sounds of it, they were pretty convincing anyway. That no, this was our guy. This was who we wanted, and we were not gonna
give a chance
take a chance of losing him to someone else. So now we're looking at what we have. A safety who's going to come in, automatically be possibly the best player in the secondary that we have. Now, the interesting thing is you add him with hopefully a fully healthy Deron Bland for a full season and a fully healthy Savone Revel who is comfortable or maybe even playing without that brace, because that brace caused him a lot of problem and discomfort last year. You heading out? Yeah. Okay, baby, love you. That's my baby daughter going home. But so that's the thing, is Savone Revel being comfortable without that brace or with a brace and at least comfortable, because last year that was one of the big issues. I think there was a good couple of weeks or even up to 4 weeks where he could have gone, but just the brace was too slippery. It was moving too much, and he just was not comfortable running the thing. So he missed more time than he would have because of the discomfort with the brace.
Yeah.
So hopefully this season he can either play without the brace, or if he plays with the brace, it's a brace that he could be comfortable with from game 1 through game 17 and stays healthy for the whole season. Deron Bland, same thing. If the foot issue does not remain a problem and clears up, again, with him being able to play outside and being able to play slot, now you start seeing what is so important about some of these players, because Caleb Downs can play free safety. He's good enough to play in run support as maybe not necessarily a old school strong safety who was just like there to dare you to come over the middle and take a run back, but he's strong enough against the run to be able to do that. And then they say that when there's certain formations, he will be back as a deep safety, but there will be plenty of time where he will be in the slot with Bland outside and Revel outside, Which brings me to Kalen Carson, who I thoroughly hope, I'm going to look him up as well, hope that this year is the year that he is healthy for the entire season. Because remember, he came in with all the hype. The seat belt was the seat belt, and now he can't get the seat belt off to get on the field. But he's another 6 foot tall player. 5'11", 7'8". So he's 6'8", 200 pounds, 6'3" and 5'8" wingspan. So a bit extra wingspan, 4 inches. So that goes a long way. 4.53 speed. So not the fastest guy, but with the zone type of schemes that Chris Parker is going to play, if he has the savvy and the IQ as far as football IQ, I'm not questioning the young man's cerebral capacity as far as off the field, but on the field comes football. If he has that IQ, same as Revel, same as Bland, because that was the problem last year. Remember when the issue was, well, these players just aren't smart enough to play. And that's not me saying, I'm not calling anyone dumb. I'm not saying anything about that. But that was what it was. These players are just not smart enough to play zone coverage.
Yeah.
So hopefully this year that issue is fixed. Hopefully this year with these players that we've drafted and re-signed and traded for, the pass rush is back to what it was, or at least close to a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Because that helps the back end, right? So we shall see. So at this point, Gavin, you tell me, are we ready to wrap it up and we can give it another run tomorrow with more time to devote to the full 3 players that have been drafted? And then, because they're going to fly through rounds 4 through 7. Now, of course, I think they'll start tomorrow at 11 a.m., which we would start that early, I'm pretty sure. But we can at least come back and we can find some highlights that we can share. We can find some breakdowns that we can share on the 3 players. Maybe even have some information on how we see how they may fit into the defense and fit into the team, fit into the makeup. Because, another thing I think as well, looking at the overall roster and saying, okay, look, this is what the roster looked like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last season, and now this is what's being put together. This is the image of the roster, if that makes sense. If I'm saying that properly, this is the image of CP, Christian Parker. And not only that, but even though he's an offensive-minded coach and is the head coach, but also in Shotty's image, they want guys that are serious about football. They want guys that want to be here, be a part of what is being built. And who are going to play hard. No excuses. They're going to be accountable. They're going to be cerebral players. They're going to be able to stand up to what is asked of them. And go from there. So, I think we're about getting ready to sign off. But let's check on this, see how the Spurs are doing very quickly. It's a 29-27 game at the end of the first quarter. In the first quarter. So that we do have that to get to, guys.
It didn't pop up over there. But
so
pop up right there.
Oh yeah, it didn't change. But tomorrow we'll probably have things maybe a little bit more to show to you guys and have you guys keep up with us as we keep up with the draft, as well as who knows, I don't know how much anybody cares about the UFL, but I love football, so maybe we'll be able to keep up with a little bit of that and whatever else will be going on tomorrow. Well, NBA playoffs will be going on. The Spurs won't be playing tomorrow, but the NBA playoffs will be going on. I believe I moved your camera.
That's good, right there.
So, I don't know how many people have been able to watch this live. I don't know how many will go back and watch it after the fact, but I do hope that what you all get is just our passion, our love for, what you see behind us, what you see me surrounded by, but more importantly, who I'm surrounded by, which is this young man who is my son. My daughter's in the chat, my wife's out there, and so hopefully we bring to my baby girls that are watching online, Kayla, Peyton, love you all very much. We want to bring some community to what we do. We want to bring some family love and energy to what we do, because ultimately that's what it comes down to. Everything that we will do will have sponsors. One of the main sponsors is Impact Education Center, where we do a very specific type of work. Tomorrow we'll give some information on that sponsor. We have other sponsors, Southside Bubble Waffles. Bubbles and Brew will be doing bubble waffles and iced coffee. I'm not sure if I was supposed to say that. If I wasn't, I apologize to my wife at the time. We make dog. We have a business that makes dog treats that are made from scratch, all healthy. Good things they're not bad for your dog, not unhealthy for your dog. So everything that we do is done with love first and foremost. And so as we move forward tomorrow, we'll be able to share some of that sponsorship with you all and know who it is that's backing us and the heart behind what it is that we hope to do as we move forward and go forward, because I have been wanting to do this type of thing for a very long time, just not been able to make myself motivated, keep myself motivated. So seeing my son work to put together what he put together tonight in a matter of an hour and a half or so was very impressive to me. So I know with more time, I know there's going to be even more that he is able to help us create and put out there. So we will be here tomorrow. We'll be here who knows how many times over as we discuss MMA, boxing, obviously the NFL, Dallas Cowboys, college football, Spurs, the NBA playoffs, professional wrestling. So many things, topics that we will be able to cover, pop culture type things. So we do look forward to creating a connection with you all, create a community, and hopefully we build something that you all are wanting and desiring to be a part of, and you help us build and share. Gavin, what do you got before we get ready to call it a night?
I think you kind of hit it all, just all the different sports that we're into, and how we were talking about like doing like different like not really, or I guess reactions to like the different music that we both have grown up listening to and watching movies and stuff like that, movies, yeah. So I think you kind of really hit it all right there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So yeah, so get to know us and let us get to know you, and it's going to be a good thing moving forward. And if we're going to call it a night so we can get to that Spurs game, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Not sure what time, but sometime tomorrow we'll see you guys.